Hello everybody, Viscount Gregor Hawke here, and welcome to my 100 shots a day for 100 days Pell challenge. This is day 8, and as you can see, I promised I would go ahead and mark everything out because I obviously need training wheels at this point. I keep trying to make too big of a step when I'm coming in. So I got my steps basically marked out, and the distance to the pail is just about right, and today we are going to be training a lot of this with movement, which is ironic. I wish I could see it better, but it's almost the exact setup as my hourglass drill. The distances between my steps, everything, it's just like doing the hourglass drill. If I could see that tape better, I would go ahead and use it, but I need to be able to see, so I'm going to be using my mirror really quite a bit this episode, just so I can see myself stepping where my feet should be. And I went ahead and made the distances as a comfortable step, so my foot's landing right on it. The only difference is I'll be taking more of a kind of a full step when I'm sliding across to the side of my body. So now that the training wheels are in place, I really hope that this is going to help me gauge the distance better. Ultimately, I need to go ahead and just really sweep the floor and clean the floor and go ahead and reapply a new set of tape for my hourglass, because it's going to really help. But for now, we'll use the ghetto hourglass, because this is going to really help me. I know it will. And I'm also not wearing my helmet today. Main reason is because I guess I'm just too lazy to go upstairs and put my contacts in. And I really wanted to see, so I'm just going to go ahead and wear my glasses today. And hopefully I don't do something stupid like hit myself in the head. That's why I always like to wear my helmet. But the way I have this set up is you're basically just going to be approaching the pail in a linear fashion. And you make sure that your left foot, since you're going to want to be going right, is going to be right on that tape. And this should just be another one of my regular steps that I do when I'm walking. So just with a slight angle. And I've been training this walk for 47 years, so I want everything to be as perfect as possible when I'm doing this. So let's go ahead and get started. Don't want to ramble on too much. I am happy that I finally went ahead and stopped being pig-headed and taped the floor. Hopefully they last enough, because the floor is a little bit dirty and the edges are peeling up. I practiced a little bit more before the video. But let's go ahead and get started. Same thing as yesterday, practicing the off-body exit strategy with a snap as I exit. And I believe that this should be a lot better for me. I don't want to be ingraining in the stepping too deep, and then when I cut across, I'm too close, so I'm having to lean back to do the off-body. That's just poor form. And if I do that too much, I'm going to learn how to do it that way, so I don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm really going to be doing this slow at first, so I can watch where my feet are in the mirror. Just want to get really used to this distance. Get it right down to about the inch. Whoa, almost falling forward. Trying to look at my feet in the mirror too much. That's not super horrible. My feet aren't exactly perfect, but having this down here and marked everybody is really helping me. Yesterday it was all kind of guesswork and feels as I'm in the middle of doing it, and now I can physically see where to put my foot as I'm doing this nice and slow. So this is going to really help me. Yeah, I mean, it feels better, like the majority of the time, and that's what I'm after. The other thing I noticed too, as I was practicing yesterday, that I don't want to do is as I was approaching, I was kind of bumping my sword, but every single time before my shot would come in, I would. It's like a dead giveaway. I want to practice that either. So that's another thing I'm trying not to do as much as I did yesterday. And that was all subconscious. I didn't even realize I was doing it until I saw the footage. So that's why I love recording myself. That I can be my own worst or best critic, trying to figure myself as a fighter out. Okay, now what I should really be practicing too, every single one of these that I'm throwing, my exit strategy is like this. It's not like what I'm trying to learn with the 4-part drill, which is this. So let me think about that as well, now that I can kind of see where to put my feet at least. It takes a little bit of the thinking out of it. It's really hard now to, for me, throwing this shot is, God, I have thrown hundreds of thousands of snaps like this in my career. And to change into this after a few years break, I mean, it's a few years, guys. Like, I didn't even pick up a sword or anything for quite some time. And it's amazing how the way I used to do it is still there like second nature. It's just I need to break that. It's tough. And even when I was doing that and talking, I screwed it up too. I really want to get in the habit of, when I'm firing these shots, to just project the tip and at an angle that makes it to where they have to block the end of your sword. Not so much linear, straight. That's how the majority of people practice, and it's how I practice almost my entire career. It's just I've noticed when you're striking here like this, they can block the majority of your sword, but if you fire up and like this, you're only projecting the tip. Much harder to block. So this is going to be an ugly habit to break, guys. This is years of throwing a shot in a certain way. I wouldn't doubt it, just being honest, that it will literally take me the majority of this 100 days Pell challenge to change the way I threw my shots back in the day. So, and if you think about that, say I only went to practice once a week, twice a week at the most, and I had the opportunity to say practice then, once or twice a week, as opposed to every day. I couldn't even imagine the amount of years it would take me to learn how to throw a shot different, and see, I'm still doing it. Very hard to break old habits. Very hard. A little bit better, still not pleased, but this is going to be a long road, guys. Very long road to get to where you want to be. And doing the challenge every day drastically help, I'm telling you. I've done failing episodes that lasted longer than a year straight. And during that time, my fighting skyrocketed. I really got to figure out who I was as a fighter. But like usual, the journey never ends. You're always looking for the opportunity to learn and improve. So this is why I'm doing this challenge. And it likely won't be the last time either. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 47. 47. Not that young 17-year-old I was when I first started. I still cannot, unless I think about it, I cannot raise my elbow. Absolutely guarantee, in the heat of the moment when I'm out there fighting, well over 90% of my shots are going to come in like they used to. So I'm going to have to actually think about it. And thinking about it during helmet time is what gets you freaking destroyed. Alright, the off body felt good. Exit, snap, same old, same old. Okay, I had a lot of screwing up. That one wasn't super bad. See, same thing. So what that tells me is I need to slow down. Give myself time to think and then do it. Do it over and over, nice and slow. Not so bad. Fire a little late. Happy with my elbow being up there. Happy with the way the shot kind of panned out. Not super bad. Speed will always mask your mistakes. And if you constantly train fast, it's going to be very hard because you're going to ingrain a lot of bad things you don't even realize you're doing. I like that. So it's worth it to me as a fighter to go ahead and try to wash away years of training, because I realize that if I can get this down, if I can just get my elbows to go just a little bit higher, same with my backhand, I know it. I mean, I can increase my kill to death, at least my kill ratio on those shots by at least 25%, at least, once I get it down, if not more. And if you think about it, that's a huge difference. And I realize that this, maybe not so much the off body, because I feel like I'm getting that. The range is still going to take me a bit. I need to do the hourglass drill a lot for you guys so you can see what that's about. But man, this bringing my elbow up for the snap and the backhand, that's going to take me many days during this challenge to break. Seriously, I know it. I just can't unless I think it. I can't. It's funny. Hearing a knight say he can't. Totally true. Now imagine if I'm out there in the helmet time and I'm trying to do this. I haven't programmed my muscles yet. It's never going to happen. I have to think about it. And then in the middle of thinking about it, I'm going to get wrecked. Knight or not. It doesn't matter. Still, if I don't think, my elbow won't raise, I won't drop my hand slightly, I won't project the tip. So what I'm doing is I'm doing it too fast again. You can slow down. Starting a little bit low to hit the shield, but I am happy with how it kind of flowed. It felt good. I just didn't have my elbow up all the way. That's better. That's better. It's going to take me thousands, tens of thousands of shots to get this to even slightly reprogram these muscles. They've just done it for far too many years. Regardless of breaks or not, what I am happy with is I stopped being stubborn and just taped it, honestly. Because I can see that in the mirror. I'm trying very hard to focus on that. That's my biggest goal. My second biggest is to actually throw my snap the proper way. Same thing. Better. When I think about it, it's better. I can't wait. Weeks from now. It's my new natural programming. So I've been fighting, I think 5 practices since I've come back. So I haven't had an awful lot of time to ingrain too many bad habits yet, which makes me happy. It's just breaking myself of my old kind of like style of who I was. That's going to be a lot of work, and it always will be, regardless of who you are. I don't think I'm pumping my sword that much. I really hope not. That looks good. Not even looking at where my, well, except for the snap, but I'm really looking hard at the off body and the steps. And I was able to move a Pell over just slightly to where I can see all that. It's kind of perfect. Still too low. Strike was too low. That was literally like 4 inches right into the shield. That means I'm trying to do this too fast still. Old habits. It's like you want to come out here as a knight and be all like, yeah guys, this is what you do and look how easy it is, and nah, it's not how it works. Whenever you're trying to learn something new, for the most part, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, there's a process to it. And it's very much better to highlight the mistakes than I do. As you can see, the majority of what I'm doing is mistakes. But each one is a learning experience. And you keep on learning, keep on recognizing where you're screwing it all up and try to fix it. And then before you know it, it all just kind of flows together during your Pell work. And then the next thing you know, you're out there on the field. You find yourself in a situation that you recognize as you train these angles, these distances between you and your opponent. You're going to recognize something and your muscles are going to take over. And it's just going to happen. No thought. You might see something, an opening. You might even create an opening. And your arm's just going to do it. Not even going to have to think about it. And that's what I love about doing this. Training your active memory over and over and over and over. Anybody that trains on the daily will always have a huge advantage over people who don't. Always. I've learned that through the years. And way back in the day, my friend Vince, he's a knight in the SCA as well. He's moved to lower 48. But back in the day, we started taking training seriously, and we realized that by doing it daily, and we ended up doing it for a full year, our skill level went like this, and everyone else was just kind of grinding along. It made a huge difference, everybody. And we were training, we were doing helmet time practices every day, sometimes at 2 in the morning. We would just do it and fight under the streetlights. We realized we couldn't do it the next day, we did it. But we stuck to it daily. And I can't even express to you how much it helped both of us. Immensely. After the training, after all the fighting, we always boiled it down to king of the world. 2 out of 3. These are the only fights that matter. Nothing else mattered before. And we would see who would be the king of the world every day for a year. The day that Vince beat me was his proudest day during our training. And I watched him evolve as a man and as a fighter that day, because he took that achievement and he ran with it. It was more juice for the fire. The more desire he had to train even harder, which pushed me even harder. So if you can find that practice buddy, seriously, look into it. Feed off each other. A lot of what you can do discovering yourself, you can do on your own. But if you have that special person that constantly pushes you, constantly inspires you to keep doing it, that's all you need. That's all you need. And there were tough days, guys. Like, we were sore. But I mean, there were days where we beat the shit out of each other. No kidding. And we kept pushing through. No matter how sore we were, the next day we're doing this. We had our ultimate goals in mind. There were some days where I didn't want to do it, and he helped me get my crap on. And there were days he didn't want to drive to my house to do it either. Still did it. And in that year, we easily gained years on our honorable opponents, easily. Even ones we'd never had the chance to fight before, that we did at a later date. So I'm telling you, I'm going to be here doing this on the daily, and I really wouldn't be surprised, everybody, if I do this for at least a year straight, at least the first run. So I'm at least looking at 3 full 100s first year, barring some horrible thing that happens, of course. But I've got things to do. 47 years old, and I've got dreams. So I keep on working every day. Every day. Doesn't matter how many times I screw up. Try my best to learn from those moments and use them as fuel, because every time I do it right and it feels right, it's a win. And if you're out in the field and you do everything just right, and you might not get the kill, but you felt it was right, take that as a win. Just understand how your opponent got it. All right, I hope this isn't going too long. Feels good. Exit strategy, same thing. I need to raise my elbow. And it's because I'm doing it too fast. That's exactly why, every time. If I don't think, I just do what I'm programmed to do. Okay. Now let me go ahead, do a little bit of 4-part single sword. Put my feet on the marker still, because that's about right. Okay. Elbow up high. Please, for the love of God, land it on the white tee. Okay. What I think I'm going to do for day 9 is obviously I am going to be focusing on the off body with the steps and all that, because that's something I'm going to be doing for a while. See, I need training with this. This is literally my highest percentage kill shot ever, and it's basically the same for most people. Snap. Easiest shot in the world. Ironically, it kills the most people across the known world as well. A very good off body. Exceptionally strong when you're setting up this side of their defense to rotate or to move, or to at least move their shield in that direction. The weakest point if you strike here is always going to be here. It's always the exact opposite in the next. So I really, 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 really need to work on becoming 25% more effective by learning, projecting the tip and the end of the sword. I know that that's my next level. So I can feel it. I've seen it from other people. Very, very high caliber fighters, like best in the world, what they can do projecting their tip and just by raising their elbow slightly. And the other thing is a lot of these guys have height advantage already, so they don't have to do it as much. But for me, I'm just an average, not so tall dude, so I need to be doing this. It's going to make me more effective once I learn it. And it really is worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of blows to be 25% more effective where I'm at now in my game at 47. And it will be a huge difference. And this feels extremely natural. This not so much. Because I have never really dedicated. I've taken a few episodes, I've taught people, hey, this is what you should do. Instead of firing like this, you just raise your elbows, do as I say, not as I do, basically. Knowing that it's a better technique, but not really dedicating the time to do it myself. So, practice what you preach, my dudes. And that was a bad one, just the same old. Elbow up, cutting. Elbow up. That. Right on the white tape. This is going to take work, everybody. Seriously. This is not necessarily a bad habit, my old technique. It's not bad. I just know it's not going to be as effective, basically. So, I have to unravel years of training. No matter who you are, it's not easy. Because you've already trained your muscles one way to do it, and they like to do it that way. That's what they like. So I'm seriously, I wouldn't doubt it if the full 100 days of this, I'm seriously trying to focus on changing how I do these things. Snap and backhand. very well might take that long for me to break this habit. So right now my targeting is very spotty trying to do it, as opposed to before. It's just right there. So hopefully this didn't go too long. There's some bad habits I'm really trying to work through. And I really appreciate you being here with my journey. Hope to see you in episode 9, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.